FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Ladies and gentlemen, in order for the government of Colombia to pick up the funding and the support for many of these multi-billion-dollar programs which we have supported for the past 8 years, they must have their own growing resource and revenue base. How does it grow? One good way that it grows is by trade and the income generated by that trade growing and providing more tax revenue. How can we do that? Why, by the purest of happenstance, I have an answer to that question. History has proven over the past 15 years that when two countries, two economies reach a free trade agreement, the impact is to create greater trade in both directions. More trade means more economic activity. More economic activity means more jobs, as well as more productive activity that generates more tax income. Therefore, I would suggest, as we contemplate a decision, that we, those of us who vote for members of the United States Congress in the days, weeks, and months ahead, as we contemplate what our position should be on something such as a U.S.-Colombia free trade agreement, we should consider that not only does logic suggest that an FTA is good for jobs and good for economic growth, that not only should we consider that Colombia has enjoyed the benefits of a unilateral free trade agreement. We call it the Andean Trade Preferences Act, whereby 92% of Colombian exports enter the United States duty-free, and 0% of U.S. exports enter Colombia duty-free. Not only should we think about new markets, particularly in the agricultural sector, not only should we think about how an FTA will give those former coca cultivators who have moved to alternative crops and alternative production markets for their products so that they will continue to grow something other than coca. Not only should we think perhaps about the concept of punishing our friends while not punishing those who oppose us. Not only should we think about the concept that there are two competing models for the future of Latin America currently being employed and offered, one tied to market economies, greater access, stronger private sector, and another tied perhaps to, let's pick an expression, socialism for the 21st century, less access to open markets, fewer regional agreements, and more separation between North and South America. Not only should we think about those issues, although all of them are very legitimate issues, we should also think as taxpayers about how we can encourage the government of Colombia to assume many of the costs, many of the expenditures, many of the responsibilities which we have managed under Plan Colombia since the year 2000. It will not come as a great surprise to any of you, I assume, to learn that I think the U.S.-Colombia Free Trade Agreement is actually a very good deal for the United States of America. Others are entitled to their own views. That is one of the reasons why I am with you here this afternoon. But I did want to give you the opportunity, the benefit of my thinking on these two issues. Having done so, I will now pause. I will say it has been a pleasure to give you a 20-minute pep talk, even though I promised you only 15, and to say thank you very much, and I look forward to your questions. Take it away.